Now let's move on to another method, and this method is probably the simplest way to evaluate limit since igo lang ta mag-substitute, and that is called substitution. So say we have f of x equals x minus 1, and we are asked to solve for the limit of f of x as x approaches 3. So kung ato na siyang tanawon ang iyang graph, kato ganina, kita naman nato ito nga ang iyang gi-approach kay 2, no? So as we move closer and closer to 3, we move closer and closer to 2 mo na siyang behavior sa atong graph. Ato na siyang discuss ganina sa previous natong part sa atong video or previous slide nato. Now let's try to use direct substitution. So kung ato i-substitute si 3 sa kang f of x, mahimo siyang 3. So to look at i-solve si f of 3, no? 3 minus 1 is 2. Therefore, the limit of f of x di as x approaches 3 is 2. Simple ra kayo. Igo na ta mag-substitute. Dayon, parehas na siya sa answer atong previous nato ganina, di ba? Nagamit ta og table of values o naggamit po ta og graphing, or we look at the graph of the function. So, by substitution, makuha na gyapon nato ang values sa limit by substituting the value of x sa ato ang original function, and then the answer is our limit already. So 3 minus 1 is 2. Therefore, the limit is 2. Another example, pareho to ikaduha na to example ganina sa graphing or by looking at the graph. So the limit of f of x as x approaches 2 is pila man? X squared minus 1. So if gamito nato ang direct substitution, 2 minus 2 squared is 4 minus 1 is 3. Therefore, the answer is 3. So, kung atong gamiton si graphing, klaro man kayo nga 3 ang answer, no? Kay as we move closer and closer to 2, ang iyang corresponding y value is moving closer and closer to 3. Kung magamit pud ta og direct by table of values, if we list down values that are approaching 2 from both sides, ang atong value sa f of x is approaching 3. Now, we have to take note that not all the time na magamit nato si direct substitution. Kay there are examples that, for instance, this one, we have f of x equals x squared minus 4x minus 5 over x minus 5. If we use direct substitution, what will happen? This will become 5 squared. Okay, 5 man ito po ano. So this will become 5 squared minus 4 times 5 minus 5 over 5 minus 5. This will become 25 minus 20 minus 5, 0 over 0. And this is indeterminate again. Pareha ganina sa atuang example nga pinakauna. So, we have to look for another method. Dili nga mag-direct substitution lang ta. We have to simplify the function to its simplest form before substitution. So if the function can be simplified, ato sa gid siyang i-simplify before we use substitution. For this example, pwede din nato siya ma-factor out kaning atong numerator. So if we will factor our numerator, this will become, say factor ang numerator nato, x minus 5 o x plus 1. And then our denominator is x minus 5. Since pareha sila, pwede nato sila ma-cancel out. So atong simplest form is x plus 1. Mao din ay siya atong substitutan sa value ni c, which is 5. So 5 plus 1 is pila? 6. Therefore, the limit is 6. So, if pwede pa gani ma-simplify ang atong function, dili nato i-direct or gamitan ng direct substitution, because if we use direct substitution, then the tendency is ang atong function will become indeterminate, or maato siya sa iyang indeterminate form. Therefore, we have to simplify if pwede pa, and then cancel out similar terms until makuha natin yung simplest form, and then we use substitution. Okay? So, katong ganyan natong gibuhat is, method nato ang gamit is factoring. Since, di ba, kaya ang atong fourth method is to simplify the function first before substitution. And what we used is factoring. Kay, gi-factor nato ang atong numerator to cancel out terms and then makuha nato ang simplified na form and then we use substitution. Kaya di man nato pwede magamit sa direct substitution kay mahimo ma-indeterminate itong function. Now, if ang ato ganing function nag-involve of radical, what we will be using is ang kaning gitawag nato nga rationalization. Katugay na is factoring man. Now, let's have an example nga mag-rationalize ta. So, say for example, we have the limit of x minus 4 all over the square root of x minus 2 as x approaches 4. Kung atong i-substitute diretso si 4, this will become 4 minus 4, 0. Dayon, 4, square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Indeterminate. So, we have to simplify it to its simplest form. And this time, what we're gonna use is ang rationalization nga method. We have to rationalize. So, itong kwaon sa extract sa nato ni si function. So, we have x minus 4 all over square root of x minus 2. Unsa nga factor atong gamiton pag rationalize? Kaning naay squared nga sign kaya atong goal is to eliminate this one man. So, atong gamiton kay same values but opposite nga sign. So, square root of x plus 2. Nganong square root of x plus 2 magyapon nato numerator? Review lang. Kay para, parehas lang siya and then equivalent lang siya sa 1. So, wala tayo gibuhat yun sa ato ang function, no? Kay gi-multiply naman nato siya sa 1. Ato lang siyang gi-transform into another form, pero wala nato gi-alter iyahang value since gi-multiply naman nato siya sa 1. And any value multiplied by 1 is itself. So, in this case, kung ito siya i-simplify, this will become x minus 4 times the square root of x minus or plus 2. And then, this is x. Okay, duha naman siya, no? May siya x squared. So, x squared, makancel na din nato si square root niya sign. So, this will become x. Dayon, positive 2 square root of x and negative 2 square root of x is simply 0. So, we have negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Now, ang answer niya is x minus 4. Dayon natay x minus 4 sa numerator. So, makancel out nato si x minus 4. And unsay mabilin is si square root of x. Square root of x plus 2. So, pwede na nato day ma-use or magamit si substitution. Now, unsa man ato i-substitute nga value? 4. So, kung ato i-substitute nga value kay 4, this will become the square root of 4 plus 2. Unsa square root ni 4? 2 plus 2. So, answer is 4. Therefore, the limit of x minus 4 over square root of x minus 2 as x approaches 4 is equal to pila? 4. So, this is our final answer. Now, try to solve this one, kaning function, by use of table of values and then compare if ang gi-approach ba sa imong f of x is 4. So, if you get 4, then our answer is correct. So, mo to siya. Ang 4 ways, let's wrap up everything. Ang 4 ways to evaluate limits kay by use of table of values, by substitution, not by graphing or by looking at the graph of the function, and by simplifying the function first before substitution. Kano sa ta mag-simplify if ang function pwede pa ma-simplify, kay nga naman nga mag-simplify ta because kung ato gamiton si direct substitution, there is a tendency that the function will become indeterminate or the value will become 0 over 0. And if that's the case, if mahimo siyang indeterminate iyang form, then ang tendency is probably wala nimo siya gi-simplify. And what we have to do is to simplify the function by factoring or by rationalizing. So, pwede ta maggamit og factoring nga method or rationalization. So, kung nanan siya mga radicals, magamit ta og rationalization. And if namoy dili maklaro or wala na klaro nga discussion, just comment down and ato na siyang i-discuss in our next video. So I hope you have learned something in this video, and in the next video we will be discussing about the limit theorems. So that's all for this video. Thank you and see you in the next video.